Hey, do you want me to tell you about what was silently ruining my life for 27 years? So, if maybe you recognize yourself in my experience and it even remotely reminds you about the struggles that you go through, you'll be able to use the lesson that I learned to correct it and 100x any results that you achieved before. If yes, then get your seat and I will share with you the most important insight that I'm not joking. This is like really the most important insight that I got in 27 years. What I want to tell you about. For years, I was not able to build any lasting success. And every time, right before the things were getting better and better, and I was supposed to get this success, this gratification for the work that I've been doing, every time right before this culmination, things were falling off, things were falling apart. My partners in business were leaving me. The deals that I was making and that were like 100% set on stone, they were just also falling apart. The clients were leaving right before sending the cash in. And there's so many examples of this thing happening. Like, just imagine for yourself that you are in the middle of a very popular process on earth, right? And you're building this momentum, and right before you're supposed to get this climax, no. No, what you thought that you're going to get to feel good? Of course you're not. And this happens every single time, like every single time, with every partner, with every person, even with yourself. This happens every time. And you start hating this process because you know that you will never get to feel good. And all this work you have been doing and all this momentum you have been building, it's for nothing. And this is the same that happened to me because I started to feel like scared, and I started to be afraid of even planning anything, of planning to achieve my goals in any area, because I knew that at any moment of time, right before I'm going to achieve my goal, things will get south, everything will go wrong. And this created so much of the inner tension inside me. I didn't have much of the trust in the world already, and with this thing, it only made things worse. So I have been in therapy for like 5 years, 4 years. And I have been working on myself for way more than that, like since my teen years, because I don't know if any of you guys ever had depression or you were called just to figure out like why you are the way you are. This work, like self-growth work, it just never stops. And I was always trying to figure out like why this thing happens. And I just could not point my finger on it. Because if we are talking about, do I believe that I can achieve success? Yeah, of course I do. Do I believe that I am worthy of success? Yes, of course I do as well. And I have done so many things to actually like do this, and I think that you most probably have done so many things to uncover those patterns as well, and you have worked through them so many times already. Like, just write me down in comments, like, for how long are you already on your self-growth journey? And the thing doesn't change. So for me, it was the same till 2 days ago. I was watching a video on manifestation. This is another interest of mine. I have the whole channel about this, which you can check as well. But anyway, I was watching the video, and the woman there was talking about rejection. And I started thinking about it. I actually, like, this whole idea of being rejected has helped me move in the right direction, because a lot of people think that rejection and the feeling of rejection can only happen to them when they are in love with someone and their like potential partner rejects them, like, I don't want you. But no, this is not actually working like that. You may feel rejected by money, you may feel rejected by success, you may feel rejected in business, you may feel rejected in love, you may feel rejected in family. And this topic of rejection, when I looked deeper in it, It made me understand what was the problem with me. And the problem is the learned pattern and habit of being rejected, and the whole meaning that you build around this whole character trait of your personality. And before you start saying, "Oh, I already know this is not interesting," I would say this too, but let me explain, okay? Because this moment of video can actually cut your ways, like cut you years of trying to achieve the success that you want. So we have discussed where you can feel rejection. And the point of rejection is that when you receive this answer that, like, no, I am not going to do something with you from a person, or no, you're not getting this right now from some item or from some success or from some goal, what you do next is that you are making this story mean something about yourself. And this becomes such a massive habit that you turn this into something that you experience, you are like expecting this to happen. And if this is not happening, you then self sabotage yourself in order to make this thing happen. So, this is the whole pattern, the whole narrative in your brain, that you have no choice but to like project it in your 3D reality, in your life, right? So every time that, like in my younger years, I was getting the rejection from, let's say, I don't know, like in my 20s, I was doing life insurance business, and I was also working like with clients there, with partners, etc. So every time I was approaching the potential prospect, or every time I was building the business with a person and then they were like leaving this business, let's say, I was making this mean something about myself. I was making this mean that, oh, they left, this means that I am not getting what I want. They left, this means that I am not the good person that people want to work with. Oh, this person like refused to buy something, this means that my offer is bad and I do things in a bad way. And then, like after this period of time, it was also very stressful period of time for me. And this can be something that you're going through right now, or you have been going through way earlier, like in your childhood, in your teens, in your early 20s. It could also be a very stressful period for you. And as we know, the most of your patterns, they grew stronger due to the emotion that you additionally experience in addition to this thing that is happening. So not only you are already making things that happen to you mean something about yourself, you also strengthen this with emotion like guilt, shame, disbelief, etc. And what was happening after is that I was still carrying this rejection pattern with myself into the next career, into the next job, into the next stage of my life. And what was happening is that I learned it so well that this literally became the part of my personality, that I am supposed to be rejected each and every time. And this is why it made it so hard for me to even plan anything further in life, plan any kind of achievements, because no matter how exciting the goal that I want to achieve sounds, I will be rejected anyway. And this rejection basically, it's very subtle, it's very silent. You are not literally walking around and thinking, I want someone to reject me today. You're not. Like, and you are not seriously like thinking about, oh, like now I am working with this partner and for sure, like I am expecting to be rejected by them, like, or something like it. Sometimes you do think like that, but usually this fear of rejection is masked behind something different. It's masked behind your self-worth. You start questioning yourself a lot. It's masked behind, oh, the circumstances are different, the market is down, the economy is bad. You are trying to justify your fear of rejection by something outside of you that you have no influence on. or you are trying to find the flaws in other people. Oh, they may be looking for something different. I am not be the right person for them because they want this and that and this and that. And you have really big narrative like around this internal feeling. And every time right before you're supposed to achieve your goal, you either already set yourself for failure, or you just do everything to self-sabotage yourself in order for this prophecy of rejection to finally happen. You don't even believe that you can actually achieve success, not because you believe that you are not worthy of success, but because you believe that something outside of you always decides what you can get and what you cannot. But how you actually deal with this rejection, with this fear, and how you rewire your brain in order to start experiencing new things. And this will also help you to actually choose better people for you, people who will be choosing you, people who you will not have to convince that they have to be around you, people who will be valuing you for what you have, but not for what you made them to value you for, you know? So the first thing that you need to understand is that this rejection, it doesn't come from external perspective, it comes from internal perspective, because every time you receive an impulse from the outer world, you make it mean something. And every time you receive like this no or anything else, you need to stop implying that first this means something about you, about what you do, about what you deserve, or whatever it is. And you need to even stop thinking about rejection as it is, because nothing can reject you unless you do. So think about any kind of successful person. They can handle rejection really, really well, because they know that there are plenty of possibilities for them. And if this person doesn't want to do something together, then another person will. If this venture didn't work out, then another venture guaranteed will work out. And they do not attach their self-worth to this particular thing in their reality that is telling them no. And the concept of rejection for them is very, very different than it is for the average person. Rejection means nothing for them, like thank you, next, thank you, next. The only feedback that you need to be counting on is your own feedback. Like, do not waste years like I did, like I wasted, to finally understand that you are way more than what people and your reality shows you that you are. Do not reach for validation from something that is only a reflection of yourself, because every time you feel rejected, like every time like you imply something on your circumstances that they mean this about you, or this about world, or this about what you can get, what you do is your whole perspective about world becomes like that. And even in the moments where you can actually achieve this goal and get this gratification, you will do everything in your perspective that will match you to this old trauma that you're experiencing, which is rejection. You will make the world reject you, because your brain, it's not supposed to make you happy, it's supposed to help you survive, and it only knows what you tell it to know and what you make it believe about you, about the world, and so on and so forth. So think about your brain as a literal program that you wrote by yourself, and now it executes everything on autopilot. Like, you are never rejected, you just made yourself believe that you are. And not only that, but you created the whole narrative around why. And this is why you choose people who reject you, this is why you attract clients who drop out for no reason. But this is not the experience of other people, not because they are better than you, but because they have a different programming than you do. Yeah, it's very smart. And I wish I had this video like years and years ago. And I hope that this has helped you guys, because this is a very important insight that I got. Let me know if you have faced something similar. Yeah, let me know. I'll be really happy to understand if this video has helped you. And I'll see you soon in my next ones.